Collective. Welcome to the Celestial Kingdom frequency. All praise to the Most High God. Love to the Mother. Love to the ancestors and the angels. Welcome, welcome, welcome to the frequency of healing and love and light. Sending you blessings and clearing up any residual clutter as you step into this sacred space. I hope all of you are doing well. And with that, we're going to get to the word. Today's word is let's move away from the spirit of dominion and move into the spirit of love. Honestly, y'all, I feel like most of what's been happening in earth, as it was, as I say, as it was, and it's still a lot of it, has been all about the spirit of dominion and control, right? I mean, honestly, most of the sticky situations that I've been in my life have been because either there was a person or a thing trying to control me and my energy, using my energy, or it was because I was trying to force a connection, which is an attachment. I was trying to force alignment with someone, which is an attachment rather than a positive in alignment connection. And so when we think about, dominion, to me, inherently, it's problematic to try to control someone. It's like saying, I, as a sovereign being, want to control your reality. I want to control your mind. I want to control your reality. I want to control your thoughts. I want to control your intention. I want to control your movements. When we seek to do that to others, we are really, to me, saying as a sovereign being that, because our primary concern should be our reality, our intentions, our thoughts, our improvement, that should be at the center of your universe, not trying to dominate and control others. The others are just, an orbit around you. Now, if they're influenced by you, or if you allow them to be in connection with you, fine. But, that could alter your frequency one way or the other. But to me, the need to want to control others, to me, is showing that there is a deficit, that there is a desire to tap into the energy of another sovereign being to make up some kind of gap within yourself or ourselves. Something that we think we need. Like, one of the most fundamental learnings that I've had is that the way the universe works is generally like reflecting, something that you're lacking, right? So if we desire, a lot of times I hear people saying, well, they didn't give me the love that I need. They're not loving me the way that I would like to be loved. Oftentimes it comes down to that we're not loving ourselves in that way. And so since we are in our core not loving ourselves the way that we should love ourselves, or loving others in the way that we should be loved, we're attracting in what we're projecting externally. It's kind of like we're saying what we want, but we are actually in lack of, that, whatever that aspect is. So and I'll use love as the example for dominion, because often that is where it most manifests, right? Where love in our relationships, not just romantically, but just with the people around us, including the parent-child relationship of dominion. Let's start with relationship. Relationship, we want to exert dominion and control, a lot of us, over our partners. We, very much possession, especially when you think about the man-woman relationship throughout history and time. I've been watching Bridgerton. And a lot of their happiness, and I mean the couple, was being ruled by these standards, these rules of honor, regarding men in particular, and women very much were like looked as possessions, as something to be had, something to be transferred, like, in terms of their value. And if a man would then convey his daughter to another man, then it was the man's respect for that man that would then be the reason why that man would take on, that relationship. It was attached to money and assets and everything else. But the woman was very much treated like property. Even if she had class, she still was treated like property. And so that man in that time would still, and still today that we have, he would do all these things. He wouldn't, it would be out of duty and honor and obligation of what his family expected of him and what society expected of him, but not his true connection to that person. He had an attachment to a woman. He had an attachment to a woman that he was fulfilling his duties and responsibilities and obligation out of honor, not because he was looking to develop a connection with that woman, since he did not develop a connection with that woman, because he did not take the time to get to know her, because he did not take the time to nourish that relationship, to feed it, to water it, it would be rough, and women would stay, and including the women that I know, like a generation ago, would stay in torture. They would go through so much, and they would stay out of their honor to the attachment, not the healthy connection. And the same thing when it comes to the kids. This dominion of how old school taught us how to raise our kids. Our kids they have to fear us. They have to fear us. We have to control them. They don't have a voice. Attachment, duty, obligation. As parents, we have to. That's why things are off the rail. And these kids are bucking, y'all. I'm not saying kids should run the house. Kids should not run the house. Kids should honor and respect their parents. But it's a reciprocal relationship. Doesn't mean you let them talk to you however you want. It means you establish boundaries from very early. You establish the lifestyle. You establish how the house is run. You establish those things on the front end. And then you help teach them the practices to fit into that lifestyle. But they should still always feel like they have a connection. They should feel like you are being a parent to them because you love them and you care about that fruitful reciprocal relationship between the two of you. And that they have a voice. And that it's the relationship, it's the connection that should be in alignment for your legacy, for your household, out of love, not dominion. I know y'all Game of Thrones folks are out here, the dragon, House of Dragons, duty, honor, attachment, forcing connections, forcing alignment, which results in very, very unhealthy dominion, legacy, honor, everybody dying, bloodshed happening, folks incest. Look, unhealthy, toxic relationships being bred out of the spirit of dominion, not of love. We have to move away from the spirit of dominion and move to the spirit of love, where we are seeking connection to people based on love, based on our want to connection, to alignment, to building with them, to growing with them, to learning together, to creating, to enjoying, to having fun, to being silly, to being substantive and deep, enjoying music, whatever it is, and not trying to control them because it's our honor, because it's our obligation, because it's expected of us, because we're fitting into our nice roles, but because we have no power anywhere else. And so we have to have power over this person, and we have to feel important, and we have to dominate and bully them. Enough. It's time to move forward. And